There is a quiet violence in kindness, not the obvious kind, not the brutality of fists or blades, but something subtler, more insidious. The way it disarms, the way it makes one vulnerable. The world does not reward pure virtue. It rewards those who understand the game, who recognize that morality and power are not always allies, and who know when to set aside their better nature to survive. This is the paradox of goodness. The more freely it is given, the less it is valued. The more one clings to ideals of fairness and decency, the more others see not nobility, but weakness to exploit. History has shown time and again that those who refuse to play the game are often the first to be swept aside. The truly wise understand that to navigate this world, one must master not just the art of virtue, but the shadow that lies beneath it. We like to believe that life is fair, that goodness begets goodness, that honesty is met with honesty. But this is a comforting lie. The truth is far colder. The world operates on power, not principle. Those who rise do not always do so because they are the most virtuous, but because they understand the mechanics of influence. They know when to speak and when to remain silent, when to act and when to wait, when to show mercy and when to be ruthless. Kindness, when unchecked by strategy, becomes a liability. The man who gives without expectation of return is seen not as generous, but as a fool. The woman who refuses to play politics is labeled naive, not noble. This is not cynicism, it is observation. The game exists whether we choose to acknowledge it or not. The only choice we have is whether to play it well or to be played by others. Words are currency, and like all currency, they lose value when overused. The one who speaks least often holds the most power, for silence is an enigma, and enigmas command attention. In the absence of explanation, others will project their own meanings onto your actions, often assuming depth where there may be none. Silence is control, over perception, over narrative, over the pace of engagement. There is a time to explain oneself, to seek understanding, to clarify intentions. But there is also a time to say nothing, to let ambiguity work in your favor. The less others know of your thoughts, the less they can predict your moves. The less they can predict, the more they must guess. And in that guessing, they reveal themselves. Respect is not given freely. It is earned, and it is maintained through a careful balance of presence and absence, generosity and restraint. The one who is always available is taken for granted. The one who is too eager to please becomes invisible. But the one who knows when to withdraw, when to make others work for their attention, becomes invaluable. This is not manipulation. It is psychology. People value what they must earn far more than what is handed to them. The moment something is abundant, it loses its worth. Time, attention, approval. These things must be measured carefully, dispensed not out of obligation, but as rewards for those who have proven their worth. To wield power effectively, one must first master the self. Emotions are a liability in the arena of influence. Anger clouds judgment. Fear breeds hesitation. Love creates blind spots. This does not mean one must become cold or cruel, only that one must learn to act from calculation rather than impulse. The most dangerous person in any room is not the one who shouts the loudest, but the one who watches, who listens, who does not react until the moment is right. Emotional detachment is not the absence of feeling, but the discipline to choose when and how those feelings are expressed. It is the difference between being ruled by circumstance and ruling over it. What others think of you is often more important than what you truly are. Perception shapes reality. A man perceived as strong will be treated with caution, even if he is gentle at heart. A woman perceived as unpredictable will be given wider berth, even if she is deliberate in her actions. The key is not to deceive, but to curate, to ensure that the image you project serves your purpose. This requires a deliberate approach to every interaction. How you dress, how you speak, how you carry yourself. These are not trivial details. They are signals, carefully crafted to influence how you are received. The goal is not to become someone else, but to ensure that the truest parts of yourself are not mistaken for weakness. Power is rarely seized in a single bold stroke. More often, it is accumulated slowly through small, deliberate actions that go unnoticed until it is too late for opposition to form. The impatient man rushes, makes mistakes, reveals his hand too soon. The patient one waits, observes, and strikes only when success is certain. This is not passivity, it is strategy. The world belongs to those who understand timing, who know that victory often goes not to the strongest, but to the one who can endure the longest without revealing their intentions. To navigate a world of hidden agendas, one must learn to recognize the tactics of those who seek to control. Flattery is not always admiration. Sometimes it is a tool to lower defenses. Urgency is not always genuine. Sometimes it is a ploy to force hasty decisions. The one who is always in a rush is often the one trying to outrun scrutiny. The antidote to manipulation is awareness. Question motives, especially those presented as altruistic. Look for patterns in behavior, not just words. Trust, but verify. And above all, never assume that others operate by the same rules as you. None of this is to say that goodness has no place in the world, only that it must be tempered by wisdom. Kindness without boundaries invites exploitation. Generosity without discernment breeds entitlement. The truly effective individual is not the one who abandons virtue, but the one who wields it with intention. There are moments for mercy and moments for severity. The wise know the difference. They understand that sometimes the kindest act is the one that appears harsh, the refusal to enable, the willingness to say no, the strength to walk away from those who would drain them. The dark side of goodness is not that it is worthless, but that it is dangerous when unarmed. To move through the world with integrity requires more than good intentions. It requires an understanding of human nature, a mastery of self, and a willingness to confront the uncomfortable truth that not everyone plays fair. The game does not end. The only choice is whether to lose on principle or to learn the rules well enough to change them.